The Thunderbird stands out as one of the most revered and mysterious beings in Native American mythology. While many cultures around the world have legends of powerful supernatural birds, the Thunderbird is particularly significant due to its deep connection to the cycles of nature, weather, and spiritual life. Across numerous North American tribes, particularly in the Algonquin and Iroquois tribes of the Plains, Great Lakes, and Pacific Northwest regions, the Thunderbird is seen as an entity that governs the forces of the sky, often linked to the storm clouds that bring rain and life, but also destruction and death. The Thunderbird's mythology differs slightly from tribe to tribe, but its association with thunderstorms is universal. When people saw the fierce winds, heard the claps of thunder, or watched lightning streak across the sky, they believed they were witnessing the Thunderbird in action. Native Americans believed that everything in the world was interconnected, and the Thunderbird was one of the forces ensuring that balance was maintained. When droughts plagued the land or floods threatened villages, the Thunderbird could act as a mediator, restoring harmony between the sky and earth. The stories of the Thunderbird are more than just tales of a supernatural bird. They are reflections of the native people's deep understanding and respect for nature's power. In these stories, we see how they viewed the world not as something separate from themselves, but as an extension of their lives, culture, and spiritual existence. This is the story of the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird's origin is rooted in the cosmology and creation stories of many Native American tribes. While each tribe's mythology has its distinctions, a common theme across these legends is the Thunderbird's emergence at a time when the world was still forming, when chaos reigned and balance had yet to be established. It was during this period of primal disorder that the Thunderbird was brought into existence by the Great Spirit or Creator to help impose order upon the elements. In some versions, the Thunderbird is said to have been born from a cosmic event, perhaps a great storm, or the clash of elemental forces like fire and water. This event was interpreted as the birth of a being capable of controlling these forces. The Thunderbird's purpose was to govern the skies, ensuring that the right balance of rain, wind, and sunlight nourished the earth. Without its intervention, it was believed that the world would fall into chaos, with either too much water drowning the land or drought leaving it barren. In other stories, the Thunderbird was created not just to control the weather, but also to serve as a guardian over humanity. The natural world was filled with dangerous creatures and spirits, many of which lived in the oceans, rivers, and lakes, and the Thunderbird was meant to keep these forces at bay. Its creation marked the beginning of a cosmic struggle between the sky and the water, with the Thunderbird emerging as the protector of the upper realms. The Thunderbird's home is often described as a mountain or a place beyond human reach, where it can survey the world below. Some legends claim it lives in the Thunderbird's nest, a high peak that reaches the clouds. From this vantage point, the Thunderbird watches over the earth, deciding when to bring rain and when to withhold it. Its creation was not just a response to chaos, but also a deliberate act of the Creator to maintain the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. As an elemental being, its existence was necessary to prevent the world from being consumed by disorder. This balance between chaos and order, storm and calm, became central to the Thunderbird's mythology, reflecting the broader Native American view of life as a series of interconnected cycles, each dependent on the other. The appearance of the Thunderbird varies somewhat across different tribes, but the general consensus is that it is an enormous bird, larger than any earthly creature. Its wingspan is often described as so vast that when it flies, it can block out the sun, creating shadows over the land. When the Thunderbird takes to the sky, the flapping of its wings causes powerful winds to sweep across the earth, and the beating of its wings produces the booming sound of thunder that resonates across the heavens. The Thunderbird's feathers are often depicted as radiant, reflecting the sky's many hues, from the bright blue of a clear day to the deep, stormy grays and purples of an approaching tempest. Some stories describe its feathers as shimmering with a light that resembles the sun's rays or the colors of a rainbow, symbolizing its control over both the destructive and nurturing aspects of nature. In many depictions, these feathers are imbued with supernatural powers, capable of bestowing protection or strength to those fortunate enough to find one. The Thunderbird's beak and talons are also significant. Its sharp, powerful beak is said to be capable of breaking through rock, and its talons are feared for their ability to tear through even the strongest of enemies. These features highlight the Thunderbird's role as both a protector and a warrior, fighting against the forces that threaten to destabilize the world. In some stories, the Thunderbird is given more fearsome attributes, such as horns or the ability to shapeshift into a human form, underscoring its supernatural nature. The Thunderbird's powers are not limited to its physical attributes. It is also deeply connected to the elements, especially rain, wind, and lightning. When the Thunderbird flies, storms follow in its wake. Its eyes are said to flash lightning bolts, while the sound of thunder comes from its mighty wing beats. It can summon rainstorms to nourish the earth, or unleash devastating tempests that lay waste to entire regions. Despite its immense power, the Thunderbird is not invincible. Its connection to the sky is the source of its strength, meaning it loses much of its power if it is grounded or unable to fly. Moreover, the Thunderbird's power ebbs and flows with the changing of the seasons. In the winter, when storms are less frequent, the Thunderbird retreats, conserving its energy until the spring rains return. These vulnerabilities serve to remind humans that even beings as powerful as the Thunderbird are subject to the natural cycles and forces of the world. They also highlight the duality of the Thunderbird. It is both a force of immense destruction and creation, but it too must respect the balance of nature. The Thunderbird, despite its immense power, faced numerous challenges in its role as the guardian of balance between the elements. At the top of these trials were its repeated confrontations with the water spirits, particularly the great horned serpent that sought to undermine the Thunderbird's authority and drown the world in chaos. These water spirits resided deep in rivers, lakes, and oceans, embodying the dangers that lurked beneath the surface of the Earth's waters. In the mythology of many tribes, the water spirits were ancient, malevolent beings that had existed since the world's creation, constantly striving to disrupt the balance established by the Thunderbird and the Creator. They would cause massive floods rising from the depths to challenge the Thunderbird's control over the skies. These floods threatened not only human settlements, but also the very fabric of the natural world, washing away life and destabilizing the cycles of nature. The Thunderbird, with its control over storms and lightning, was the only force powerful enough to stop them. The battles between the Thunderbird and the water spirits were described as cataclysmic, with the clashes between these two elemental forces causing some of the most severe storms in human memory. When the Thunderbird descended from the sky to confront these serpents, its mighty wings generated fierce winds that tore through forests and flattened landscapes. Lightning would flash from its eyes, and thunder would boom with each beat of its wings as it struck at the water spirits. However, these battles were not without cost. Each victory over the water spirits drained the Thunderbird of its energy, leaving it weakened and vulnerable. After such battles, the Thunderbird would retreat to its home in the clouds or high mountains, where it would rest and regain its strength. This cyclical nature of conflict between the Thunderbird and the water spirits reflects the ongoing struggle between chaos and order, flood and drought that exists in the natural world. The Thunderbird's victories ensured that balance was maintained, but it also meant that these conflicts would be a recurring part of its existence. The Thunderbird's trials served as a reminder of the delicate balance between the forces of nature. Despite its immense power, the Thunderbird was not an omnipotent force. Its ongoing struggle to maintain equilibrium mirrored the cyclical nature of life itself. Just as storms come and go, so too do conflicts arise and subside, with the Thunderbird standing as a symbol of the enduring effort to preserve harmony in the world. Hey everyone, just a quick intermission here. I wanted to say thank you for watching this video. It really means a lot to me. Did you know that over 80% of you who are watching right now aren't subscribed to the channel? If you've enjoyed this content so far, it would be incredible if you could hit that subscribe button. It's a small gesture, but it really helps the channel grow and ensures that you won't miss any more of our fascinating stories we explore together. Also, if you're feeling generous, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share with anyone else who may enjoy it. Your support really does make a difference and keeps the content coming. Thanks again, and let's get back to the story. Totem poles, particularly those featuring the Thunderbird, are deeply significant in Native American culture, especially among the indigenous peoples of the Pacific Northwest. Far from being mere decorations, these poles serve as cultural symbols, historical records, and spiritual markers, expressing a profound connection to the natural and spiritual world. Totem poles are important cultural records, visually depicting stories, legends, and events significant to a family or community. Each figure on the pole, whether it's an animal or supernatural being, tells part of a larger narrative that preserves oral histories for future generations. Alongside the Thunderbird, poles may feature bears, wolves, and eagles, each symbolizing unique values or qualities important to the tribe. The Thunderbird often appears at the top of totem poles, symbolizing its immense spiritual power and protective role in Native culture. As a supernatural being capable of controlling storms and summoning rain, the Thunderbird represents the forces of nature. Its presence on the pole offers protection to the family or clan, warding off malevolent spirits and ensuring harmony with nature. For many tribes, the Thunderbird is not just a mythological figure but a clan symbol, representing the lineage and identity of a group. The Thunderbird on a totem pole serves as a marker of ancestry, linking the family to the powerful being and emphasizing their spiritual connection. Additionally, the Thunderbird reflects Native Americans' deep relationship with nature. Its control over rain and storms symbolizes the cycles of nature, fertility, and the necessity of balance between humans and the environment. Poles featuring the Thunderbird represent a reverence for natural elements and the interconnectedness of all life. Shamans, the spiritual leaders of Native communities, were often seen as intermediaries between the Thunderbird and the people. Through rituals, dreams, and visions, shamans communicated with the Thunderbird, seeking its guidance on matters ranging from weather predictions to healing and warfare. The Thunderbird, being a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, would offer wisdom and sometimes direct assistance in these matters. Shamans would enter trance-like states to connect with the Thunderbird, interpreting its messages and acting on its guidance to benefit their people. One of the most sacred objects connected to the Thunderbird was its feathers. These feathers were believed to hold immense spiritual power, representing the Thunderbird's ability to protect, heal, and guide. Warriors, chiefs, and shamans who possessed Thunderbird feathers were considered especially blessed and would carry them into battle or ceremonies as talismans of strength, bravery, and divine favor. In some stories, finding a Thunderbird feather was seen as a sign that the individual had been chosen by the Thunderbird for a special purpose or role within their community. The Thunderbird was also connected to rites of passage and leadership. Some tribes believed that the Thunderbird would reveal itself to individuals through visions or dreams, marking them as chosen ones destined for greatness. These visions often came to people at critical points in their lives, such as when a young warrior was preparing for a great battle, or when a shaman was taking on new spiritual responsibilities. These chosen individuals were seen as having a unique connection to the Thunderbird, and they were expected to honor that connection through their actions and leadership. However, the Thunderbird's blessings came with great responsibility. Those who misused the power given to them by the Thunderbird could face severe consequences, both personally and for their community. This aspect of the Thunderbird's relationship with humans underscores the theme of balance and respect. While the Thunderbird was a powerful ally, it also demanded that its gifts be used wisely and in accordance with the natural order. In some legends, the Thunderbird's presence in human society was not always visible, but its influence could be felt in the weather patterns, in moments of divine intervention during battles, or in times of great need when the rains came to save crops from drought. The people honored the Thunderbird through ceremonies, songs, and dances, all of which reinforced the sacred bond between humanity and the forces of nature. As the seasons changed, so did the Thunderbird's presence in the world. While spring and summer were marked by storms and rain, which were often seen as manifestations of the Thunderbird's influence, autumn signaled the time when the Thunderbird would withdraw from the world. Its departure in the fall was symbolic of the cyclical nature of life, as the energy of the stormy seasons gave way to the stillness of winter. In many tribes, the Thunderbird's departure was associated with the coming of the cold season, when the land would grow quiet and the storms would subside. It was believed that the Thunderbird retreated to its distant home in the clouds or a high mountain, far beyond the reach of humans. Some tribes describe this place as a sanctuary where the Thunderbird would rest and regain its strength after months of protecting the earth and battling the water spirits. The arrival of calm, clear skies in autumn was seen as a sign that the Thunderbird had completed its duties for the season and would no longer summon storms until the time was right. Without the Thunderbird storms, the earth entered a period of dormancy. The people, too, would prepare for the long winter ahead, knowing that the Thunderbird would not return until the spring. Ceremonies were often held to honor the Thunderbird's departure and to ensure its return in the coming year. These rituals were not just about invoking rain, but about maintaining the delicate balance between life and death, creation and destruction, that the Thunderbird represented. The Thunderbird's departure was a reminder that, while it wielded great power, it too was bound by the natural cycles of the earth. Its influence ebbed and flowed with the seasons, reflecting the broader patterns of nature that governed the lives of the people. Yet even in its absence, the Thunderbird remained a powerful symbol, a presence that lingered in the hearts and minds of the people as they awaited its return with the arrival of the spring rains. The Thunderbird's influence has extended beyond Native American mythology and into various aspects of modern media and pop culture. Its imagery and symbolism have been adapted in ways that reflect its power, majesty, and association with storms and lightning. Zapdos, one of the legendary bird Pokémon from the original series, is heavily inspired by the Thunderbird. Zapdos controls lightning and thunderstorms, echoing the Thunderbird's ability to summon storms and manipulate the skies. Its large wings and electric powers make it one of the most powerful and revered Pokémon in the franchise, much like the Thunderbird in Native American mythology. The Ford Thunderbird, introduced in 1955, is a classic American car that borrows its name from the legendary bird. Initially marketed as a luxury two-seater, the Thunderbird became an iconic symbol of American style, freedom, and power. In J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the Thunderbird is a magical creature capable of sensing danger and summoning thunderstorms. The character Frank, a Thunderbird, is one of the magical creatures featured in the first Fantastic Beasts film. Rowling's interpretation of the Thunderbird draws directly from Native American mythology, retaining its control over weather and positioning it as a protector with immense power. There are much more examples, such as in the Marvel Comics, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Assassin's Creed, but you get the point. Its representation in pop culture demonstrates the enduring legacy of the Thunderbird, blending mythological roots with contemporary interpretations that keep its story alive in new and creative ways. The Thunderbird story embodies immense power and mystery, deeply connected to the natural and spiritual worlds of Native American cultures. As a force of nature, it brings both life-giving rain and destructive storms, symbolizing the eternal balance between creation and destruction. In its role as a protector, the Thunderbird defends humanity from malevolent forces, such as the water spirits, ensuring the harmony of the elements. Ultimately, the Thunderbird serves as a powerful reminder of nature's forces that must be respected and revered for the balance they maintain. Its enduring presence reflects the Native American worldview, where nature and spirit are inseparable, and balance is key to life's harmony.